Hello, everyone. You are welcome to Anchor Network, where you get reliable and authentic news that are so crucial to you. I say big thank you to everyone who has been part of this channel and who has taken time to subscribe. And if you are yet to subscribe, I say please click the red subscribe button and also the bell icon. The bell icon will allow you to get notified anytime we publish any news. Ohanaeze to federal government. Nigerian customs sabotaging Igbo businesses. The Ohanaeze Youth Council has raised the alarm over the ongoing relentless extortion and exploitation of Igbo traders and businessmen in the country, particularly Lagos State, by corrupt officials of the Nigerian Customs Service. Embittered by the rampant extortion, intimidation and harassment of businessmen going about their legitimate businesses, the Ohanaeze Youth Council, led by Comrade Igbo has also called on President Muhammadu Buhari and the National Assembly to investigate the activities of the Controller General of Customs, Colonel Ahmed Ali, retired, and his field officials in the Lagos area over their alleged bid to strangulate Igbo businesses. The group regretted the rot that has eaten deep into the very fabric of the Nigerian Customs Service, whose officials no longer hide their inclination to extortion and corruption perpetrated especially against Igbo traders doing legitimate business. According to the statement issued by the group, Ohanaeze Youth Council alleged that through verified complaints, officials of the Customs Service has continued to request some undue and illegal levies from Igbo importers as a condition for clearing goods. They also stopped Igbo traders on the roadways and demand illegal fees. They employ the use of coercion, threat, closure of shops, and seizure of goods to unlawfully extract money from their victims, the statement read. I think the bottom line of this whole thing is based on corruption. It's really based on corruption. Of course, if I'm sure it's going to be affecting everybody. It's going to be affecting everybody, not only the Igbos. The reason why maybe the Igbos own will be so be pronounced or prominent is that they are into business. When you talk of all those major dealers, exporters, and importers, they are the hub. I think we are still coming back to what has been on ground before now, because when you talk of business, give it to them. So that is why it will affect them more. So it's not as if maybe, in my own opinion, that's my opinion. It's not as if maybe other maybe the customer just trying to select Igbos to say, okay, want to deal with you or want to extort you, want to collect some kind of money from you as in terms of bribery. No, in my opinion, is that because they are the major people. Of course, when you have like 10, let's say 10 businessmen, 9 of them, are Igbos, definitely that is how it's going to sound. But in general terms, what is going on is that there is corruption everywhere. It has been a normal thing. And people who say they are fighting corruption, I don't know the areas which they are fighting the corruption from. Because when people say, okay, you are just fighting opposition, you are just trying to intimidate opposition, they might be right. Because in the real sense, if really that is the ideology of the party, APC, I'm coming back to APC, if that is the ideology of the party, the question and what I've really noticed is that why is it that the other governors, even at least let's talk from the APC, if of course if the PDP might not want to go in line with that because maybe that's not what they are preaching, but as far as this government, this present administration has been preaching fight against corruption, they want to fight corruption and all of that. I think it's supposed to be a collective thing, not only at the federal level, because at the state level everybody does what he wants to do. It's just a free fall. They are not practically they are not part of what the presidency is doing out there or is announcing out there or over there. So it's very rare. I've never even seen any state, let's say APC state or all these governors or even down to the lower level that they are fighting corruption. It is only at that level they are chanting this fight against corruption, and which a lot of people are still really doubting. So everything still boils down on corruption. They will award contracts. At the end of the day, they will make budgets. They will give her the money to do the project, but then the day nothing will be done, and nobody is going to question, normally we are giving you so time to be able to finish this project, but nobody at the end of the day, nobody monitors anything. And that's why you see that the corruption is just at the top, even at the upper level that they say they are fighting corruption, because they have said it. If you join their party, forget any other thing or whatever that could be hanging on you, they will forget that. So as it is now, that is one side. Another thing is the closure of this border, because they came out again that say the closure of the border has been yielding positive results. But what are we seeing? Because it's something as we go into it, because they were like telling us that because of that, a lot of people are doing all this illegal business and all of that, it has been reduced, the rate at which people are doing illegal business, you know at the border, it has really reduced drastically, according to the report, what the federal government has been saying. And a lot of people, from the Senate, some senators, there was a kind of a mixed reaction. Some are of the closure of the border, and some are against it, that the federal government did not look at this whole thing holistically. And that is why, you know, some people who are really genuine, even in doing their business, they are being affected. So how do you treat those people? How do you go with those people? How do you expect those people to start, coping, when you have already close the door against everybody, even whether you are doing legitimate business or not, you close the border against everybody. So that is what you are going to be getting. I think there should be a kind of measures that will be able to checkmate all of those things. Those were the things that some of the senators were talking on the floor of the Senate, that it's not really working well. That even if they are going to close the border, those who are of the opinion that the border shouldn't have been closed in the first place, that even if I thought you want to close the border, you should have put some measures on ground, to be able to curb it in case you close it, so that people will not start some people will not be affected negatively, most especially those who are really into genuine business. So that is just my opinion, and it might not necessarily mean that okay, they are just trying to segregate the Igbos. Oh, we want to deal with you on what, but because they are the major importers and exporters, so definitely it will ring bell. So at the end of the day, what is paramount now is that there's corruption going on in that place. It has always been. It has always been. So it is not today, it has always been. So we don't even know when we are going to be out of all this talk every now and then, saying the same thing over and over again, and no changes, no results. The only legitimate business in Nigeria now is to be a Fulani Esme. Wow. You can kill at will, nobody will question you. If Nigeria government is not partial, why can't they open a functional seaport in southeast and south-south, since the Igbos are the most known for business, so that it will be close to their area to reduce costs and improve development? That is the question people have been asking all this while. That is the question they'll be asking, and nobody tends to answer that. Nobody tends to look at that direction. Let the Ohanaeze Youth Council in Lagos direct their anger to the man behind all this evil in Lagos, because the Ohanaeze Youth Council knows the man. Why? Because it has been always Alhaji Bola Tinubu who always been giving the Igbo people living in Lagos condition during presidential election and Lagos state election to always vote for Bola Tinubu party if the Igbo people want to continue staying in Lagos to do their business freely, as if they are slaves to Tinubu, because the Ohanaeze Youth Council never confronts Bola Tinubu publicly, whom has been threatening their stay in Lagos all these years. Instead, they are now confronting a common Tinubu messengers who are illegally exploiting money from them. I don't know if the Igbo people are foreigners or slaves in Lagos. Why? Because the price of properties purchased in Lagos by Igbo people are far higher than any other nationality of Nigeria in Lagos. And the Igbo people in Lagos continue to show up their wealth, that they have plenty money, and I don't know why they are complaining or crying. No, now for common illegal customs levies payments. But I only know, and I only have one advice for the Igbo people: to change their too much of showing up attitude publicly. Otherwise, they will remain scapegoats in Nigeria. Also, if Igbo people business is genuinely in Lagos, they seek justice. The comrade should either go back to school or go and learn trade. He was just contradicting himself. Government policy is not a policy for Hausas, Yorubas, Igbos, Nupes, or and so on and so forth. These developments are not happening without the knowledge of the federal authorities. It was an agreement between Yoruba and the Fulanis to make the southeast and south-south poorer and slaves and make them slaves. That was what necessitated the closure of eastern ports and now the eastern borders. Yet they are pleading for peace and unity. How can we talk of peace and unity in Nigeria without love and appreciating the efforts and contribution of various tribes? These are the things that are really, the foundation of most of our problems. Religious sentiments and ethnicity sentiments. It has always been, whichever way, there is no way you want to go about it, it must have that coloration, those two things. And maybe policy, party sentiments. It has always been. We don't even know how we are going to get out of this place, and that's why a lot of people are agitating. Because when you look at the whole thing, if we are sincere to ourselves, if we are really objective, the thing is not really working. If you're talking about the unity, people from the top are not laying the foundation. They are not setting examples for people to come together, because they made some kind of statement that infuriates a lot of people, and in their policies and all of that. If it's not going to be working, better still, let there be restructuring. If not, let everybody go their separate way. I see no reason why we are just giving ourselves headaches, giving ourselves headache. So, guys, I would like to hear from you what you think about this. Whether it is a deliberate attempt, or it's just the way, it's not just the bad governance that we have been talking about. Please leave your comments below in the comment section. Thank you very much. Bye.